Greetings, warriors of the ring. My name is Strider656, and I'm excited to share with you a portion of a game I played against Mestre James in the Lords of Middle Earth for the League. Mestre James has been an avid supporter of me, which is very kind. He's actually the first person I ever played in War of the Ring on the Discord, where he destroyed me. Mestre James is also the only person to have beaten me in the LoME League last year when I came out 9-1, and this year I'm not doing so hot. So I'm excited to play him. And this game, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit of a cluster. I'm not gonna tell you for who, but at some point I'm just gonna stop and say, and this is the moment. So let's dig into it. I'm playing Shadow. James is playing Free. I draw. Balrog has come, and Corsairs of Umbar. I'm thrilled to draw Corsairs early, because that's one of the best cards in the deck. So he puts Pippin in the Shire. He says, my boy Pips is starting here today. Hope that's okay with you. I allocate an eye and I roll 3 more. I say, great, GG. Mestre James says he's going to pre-roll. He feels it's rigged for sure. He always pre-rolls it. So he rolls it as a P, but that doesn't count as his roll. Then he rolls all the dice and it's an E. So I have 5 eyes. So now I feel a little bit better about my roll. I say, you can't pass. He says, I don't need to. And I'm expecting a turn 1 Aragorn here, to be honest. I was thinking he was going to separate, play Fear Fire Foes to move again. Give me a ring to move to Dol Amroth, then crown Aragorn. That's what I thought he was going to do, but he draws a character card. The reason I thought of Fear Fire Foes is because I see Pippin in the Shire. My goal right now is I'm terrified of winds from the west, but I can't draw a card because I don't want to lose Corsairs of Umbar. Of course, there's no way the Free People player would even bother playing Winds from the West if I only have 2 cards to choose from. So I move towards Umbar, and I move these guys down to Barad-dûr. He plays Elven Cloaks, puts in the pool. I use my muster to bring Isengard to war, so I can get Saruman, possibly. There's Fear Fire Foes. Maybe he... No, he started with it. So the North goes all the way to war. And, yeah. So now the Dew line looks terrifying. And I just move out towards Gondor, because it's always the choice you want to make when Fear Fire Foes is played, because the north of the map becomes a nightmare, for sure. So James wins the Fellowship on 5 eyes, and I totally miss. I say rigged. He says, oh well. He says easy Saruman, so I get Saruman in. So I draw Wormtongue and Shadow of Dol Guldur. I'm thrilled I have Wormtongue because now I have a way to block Wind from the West if he has it. His Fellowship good, allocates an eye, rolls 1 more. And he rolls all movement and 1 Palantir. So he says, guess I can move now. Yay. And he passes. But I realize I can't even muster. So I put Wormtongue out to block winds, and I write that in the chat. He says, sure, of course I have that already, right? I'm James after all. I say, I usually do, because it's true, I usually do have it. He moves the Fellowship, I miss. I attack forwards, because why not? Might as well utilize my card. I got 1 hit, and he gets 2 back. So I just move them all out, because I don't see Gandalf coming this turn. I moves the Fellowship again, and I hit, and it's a 3. He loses Gandalf. And I move to Westamnet, because I want to take over Rohan. And I decided I want to move these guys slowly to Orthanc just to block in case he does bring Gandalf the White in case he has an Ents or something. Then James says, please don't be mad at me, which is very suspicious. And he plays Mirror of Galadriel to turn a character into a will. I say, cool. And now I'm really worried about Orthanc. So I'm moving these guys down to protect. And one guy here just so I can block all of Rohan off. He flips Gandalf into Fangorn. I move my guys in to protect. And the guys here to Morannon from Gorgoroth. And I move all my guys to Umbar to prepare for Corsairs. And then I realized I moved 3 total. So I just changed it to Umbar and Orthanc. Place every little is a gain. And I decided to move out towards Gondor. But Sauron's not at war yet. Going to turn 3. I draw half-orcs and gobblemen and Nazgul Strike. Is this fellowship good for now? I roll no additional eyes, and he rolls a great roll. He says, let's give it a try, shall we? And gets 2. I mean, they're coin flips, but I'm not happy with that. Saruman's gone. I say tempted to resign. And he says, Saruman died with Wormtongue, therefore, now he can play Winds from the West. And there goes Corsairs of Umbar. It's an easy pick. He doesn't even pick it. I do it for him. You can see. Actually, we both did it together originally. So yeah. And at this point, I resign. Not in the game. We actually played it out, but there are so many. I made some rules errors in this, and I have some questions for people who are watching because this is such a short video. So if Wormtongue is deactivated, I end up playing half-orcs and goblin men. Does that move Rohan? Was a question we asked. Because technically the Shadow owns these 2, so is it still Rohan stuff, or because I didn't move, does Rohan stay inactive? Because that's a great question because he can just move into Orthanc easily. If you look at his hand here. To be fair, I could also muster an Orthanc. But that's the question. What gets rid of Wormtongue? Like if I move these guys from Westamnet to Fords, to Fold, would that be considered activating Rohan? Even though I already own that place, does moving at all? So it's something that got brought up in the rules channel. You can check it out here on Discord. But pipe in your thoughts here. But yeah, I made several errors. I'll give some examples. There was a turn later on where I attacked Pelargir with these guys down here. And the Southerns and Easterns weren't even at war. So we agreed to use a muster to make it so later on so that it made sense. It just wasn't my prettiest game. On top of that, I'll zoom through it so you can see what happens. But at some point, he actually musters a whole ton of people in Dale, and I go after it. And it's a huge error because you can see the army growing. Because I draw into dreadful spells. And I think maybe I can go after them and like lower their army, right? So I move up there using Shadows of Dol Guldur. Sauron's not even at war. I also forget about the Witch King. And dreadful spells just totally misses. So this game was very low for me on hits and stuff. Mestre James is an expert player, just so you guys all know. I pick him for tournament wins all the time because he just feels unstoppable to me. He's probably him and Galahad beating me are the ones that I can never beat. So I wanted to just shout out Mestre James for being a good sport, hilarious in the chat, and just a gentleman. And I promised I would put the game up, so it's up. And I'll if you're interested in the log, I can maybe I can attach it to the YouTube video so you can see more, or I can zoom through the game. I'll zoom through the game, but I'll talk as this is going. It just ended up being like a slow-moving fellowship with not a lot of hits to it. To a almost like really slow military in this entire game. He just gets revealed a few times, as you'll see. And there's a point, again, I think this is where I attack into Pilar gear without having any leadership. Will happen soon. So here's where it is. And we don't even notice it. So I'll show you how the game ended. So I'm just going to zoom through. And sorry for going too fast. But again, the whole point of the game was just to show you like the first few turns. But he ends up dunking it on turn, I think, 9 or 10. And he always has military options as well. Like I drew Cruel Weather a little too late. I tried taking advantage of Captain of Despair. He loses Strider to a 3. And is able to just move through Mordor with not a lot of issues at all. I do end up trying to go... I over-attack everywhere, as you can see. We have a point in Minas Tirith where we both attack each other and we tie. So that's the movement there, James, we were talking about, because we were talking about this game. I moved from full to Druidane Forest, which is... I don't think this should activate Rohan. But that might. So maybe that will activate Rohan. But we never did it. Because his fellowship is just moving too well. And the corruption's low. He does end up bringing Galadriel out, so we do have a fight in Lorien. And I did save the Balrog card for that. And we talked for a while about it. And I do end up taking Galadriel out with Lorien here. By pressing down. But it's not enough to stop him from moving again and drawing an eye. So that was the game. Again, sorry it was a quick one, but the play was just so horrendous that I'm honestly embarrassed to share what happened, even though I just showed you anyway. Because I just wanted to show you the turning point of the game. And because it's a league game, I just wanted to share it. So I'm sorry for those who were looking for the full game. You got the game. You can always watch it in slow motion if you want. But this was a brutal game. And again, thank you for James. Let me show you the stats at the end of the game. So you can see it. I mean, it doesn't look so bad here. But because I was doing a lot of no card stuff, that -3 really, really hurt. So thank you all for watching this video. I'll try doing a full game later on. Like James says in the chat, hopefully we have a more competitive game for our game too. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.